Free fantasy, guys. Before I get into this video, you do get a free fantasy card. The wild card was not fully out yet when I made this video, but 3 collectibles you can get out of the wild card to couple with the 13 I'm going to show you to get the 16 total you need to get 1 free fantasy card. That I just wanted to put that in there, guys, because wild card wasn't out when I was making this video, and I wanted to put it in. So when I say you can get a free fantasy card, you can. You just need to get 3 more from wildcard. So enjoy the video. Yo, boys, what's going on? It's Fantasy Day and Supernatural Day, but we are going to start with Fantasy today. We're going to break this up into 2 videos. So today, we're going to do Fantasy. Tomorrow, we'll do Supernatural because there's going to be a lot to go over and which Supernatural players are the best, which Fantasy players are the best. I don't want to try to get it all into one or make it extremely long, so we're going to do one. But let's just get into it. Let's talk about the Fantasy. Who are the best ones to pick, and what is the incredible difference this year in fantasy cards because they started at a good place. Let's get into it, guys. I hope you do enjoy it. Okay, fantasy cards. We have O'Reilly, Matherson, Giroux, Malkin, and Carlson. The difference is this year they are actually popular names. Great players, all maybe older players, but they are all popular players for their respected teams. So you can't hate that. And then we have Repo, Forsling, Petrangelo, Marchment, Oliver Ekman-Larsson, Coyle, Middlestat, Sanheim, Garland, and Kotkaniemi. Not just being a Leaf fan, that Oliver Ekman-Larsson might be huge, and I will talk about it. And the fantasy cards, they go up by +1 for a goal and +2 for a defenseman goal. So that's pretty huge, right? Pretty huge. Operated the same as last year, but what I'm looking at is the uniqueness of where they start. And we will talk about that as we look at the cards. The fantasy event gives you 3 collectibles for completing all 8 objectives. What are those objectives? Well, one objective is open 4 daily packs. Another one is shot blocks with supernatural players, body checks with supernatural players, assists with supernatural players, shots with supernatural players, perfect one-timers with supernatural players, goals with supernatural players, and 30 games with supernatural players. So to get the 3 collectibles, you're going to be time locked behind 4 daily packs, but everything else you can get done relatively quick because not only is it things you can do, but it's quick and easy things to do. Like 35 goals, rookie isn't hard. If you wanted to do it on Rivals, you can because 35 goals in Rivals isn't that bad either. Yes, it's with supernatural players, but there's a good one out that I'll be talking about tomorrow. And if you did all these, you get 8 plus the 3. That gives you 11 fantasy hockey player collectibles right there. So we're at 11 collectibles so far. Wildcard is not up yet. Let's hope that Wildcard gives us a fantasy collectible. Maybe if we're lucky. Then there's fantasy hockey moments. Rookie, take 5 shots. Rookie, 3 assists. Rookie, 2 goals. Semi-pro, block shots. Semi-pro, get hits. And for 2 collectibles, bringing us up to 13 collectibles, all-star, win a game, and score goals 3 times with any players. So we are up to 13 collectibles. And the fantasy event is listed at 13 days, so that's 2 weeks, 2-week event, but the MSPs currently and the sets currently are 7 days. So, you know, the 1 week and 1 week. So these will be gone. And if you save your collectibles, your 13 collectibles, and then you pair them up with your other 13 collectibles that hopefully we get next week, you get 26 collectibles out of the 40 you need. Over halfway to a fantasy player of your choice. But if you wanted a random BND one, a random BND one is 16 collectibles. So you can roll the dice on this if you feel like it because you get 13. So you build another 3 and you can get one of these random players and just hope for the best. That might be a cool way to go if you are a free-to-play player. The BND doesn't really matter for this because you're not trading in fantasy cards anyways, right? It's not like you're getting a fantasy card and trading them into a set down the road. You keep the fantasy card. So if it's a BND, if it's an untradeable, it doesn't matter. You're not getting rid of it. So this is actually a very cheap and very good option and the correct way of using BND. I like this so far, but let's see what a collectible costs. So we know you get 13 of them, and for 1 collectible, you need 7 76 pluses. For 2 collectibles, you need 5 78 pluses. And for 3 collectibles, you need 3 80 pluses. Okay, 3 80 pluses isn't bad. That gets us above the 79 that we were at, but what are 80 pluses going for? 80 pluses just 20 minutes ago was going for what, 10, 11,000? So we're not going to go there. No, knowing how this goes, we're going to go up to 17,000. And we're going to see there's a none available. Okay, that's the skyrocket. We're going to go up to 21,000. And we're going to see there's 8 available. So 20,000 per collectible. So for easy math, 20,000 coins times 40. That equals 800,000 coins. And it's going up. It is going up. They were at 20,000. Now they're at 21,000. So it is going up and is going up fast. Let the spike happen, guys. It will come back down. Maybe not all the way back down to 10K like it was, but it will come back down. So let the spike happen. Now off to the store for just fantasy, that is. We're not going to look at all this stuff. We're just going to look at the fantasy packs. We have contains 2 players with a great chance of a fantasy player. That is what it is. Great chance of a fantasy player. 63,000 coins. We have untradeable, contains 10 players with a great chance of a player, and a collectible for 78,000. We just looked, and collectibles go for 21,000. So if you're buying this for the collectible, don't. Because 21,000 gets you 1 collectible by just buying the 80 plus. So don't buy this for collectibles. And then we have 150,000 contains 6 players with a greater chance of a fantasy card. And then for 600,000, you get a random bound fantasy card. We already just talked about this. You get 13 collectibles out of doing everything in week 1, and you need 60,000 coins to get the 380 pluses to get the last 3 collectibles you need to get a fantasy bound card. So you wouldn't spend the 600,000 coins. You would just spend 60,000 coins, get all the objectives done, and then try your luck at the bound card. Don't go this way, go that way. Now, that all that excitement of sets and everything is done with the objectives and whatnot, let's look at the fantasy players. We're going to start with Connor Garland, and they actually started. Look at the endurance, boys. Look at the endurance here. They actually started the endurance fairly high. I like this. You can't hate it. But 88 speed is nuts. These cards are actually built fairly well. I like this. Connor Garland gets 8 goals. He's a 90 overall, +4 to speed. Like, what are we talking about here? This is a pretty good card. This could be a very good card if he could make that happen. But he is not the player that I think is the most interesting out of all of this. Casey Middlestat. 86 speed, 85 endurance, good shooting. This card's a well-balanced built card. So a banger of a card. Zanheim, 85 speed, 85 endurance. The common denominator here is they hurt us when we said the endurance was terrible last year, because all these cards seem to be starting out with okay endurance, really usable endurance. And if it goes up from there, we're happy. And then Cogniemi. Again, good endurance, low speed, but he's taller, so that makes sense with good shooting. This card, again, looks good. Maybe he can bury some goals, and he can move fairly quickly. Charlie Coyle, again, slower, very slow, but actually this card is actually, as I'm still riding the high from the last couple of cards, because this card's not very good. Really slow, good endurance, bad shooting, bad hands, but if this guy buries some goals, he will come around. And it looks like the hands and the shooting, guys, is something that they're keeping down. So when this Charlie Coyle gets goals, they can prop those stats up before they change other things. So not a bad looking card, but needs improvement. The card that I like the most, right here, Oliver Ekman-Larsson, 81 overall, 6'2", 85 speed, 85 endurance. Why I like this card the most is, as of this current moment, he got put on the top power play unit, and the guy loves to shoot. Now, when this card was made and selected as a fantasy card, he was not there. They just brought him up. Craig Berube just brought him to the first power play unit, and he passes the puck around well. He moves it well. He takes shots when needed, and he takes a lot of them when needed. This card could hit. Remember, defensemen only need 1 goal to go up 2 overall. So if this guy gets 10 goals this year on the top power play on one of the best offensive teams in the league, he could be a 99 overall fairly quickly. Maybe he gets 3 or 4 goals. 3 or 4 goals brings him up to a 90 pretty fast. So this card is very impressive, and I like it. And if you go into the sets, you can pick this exact card. No randomness. 40 collectibles, you can get this Oliver Ekman-Larsson, and I very much so thinking about doing it. Marchessault is a good card. Great mustache. this card got brought down a little bit. Like they started high. They started high with the speeds and the shot and everything, and they've slowly brought it down. 6'5" is a beast. This could be a very dominant card later on in the year after he drops a couple goals. Pietrangelo, another great name. That's one thing I'm seeing here is they're giving us great names. Another great name on Pietrangelo. And this card, the fantasy cards are pretty low, but this card looks like it's good. And again, Vegas is a team that puts the puck in the net. Maybe he gets in there and slips a couple in. But 79, I like the Oliver Ekman-Larsson more. Forsling. Forsling is 77. They're expecting this guy to put a bunch in. And again, guys, the Oliver Ekman-Larsson is the boss card, in my opinion. And then we got Repo. I don't know if I said that name right. I know nothing about this league. I know nothing about this player. So I'm not even going to try and say whether or not this could be good. Maybe it could, maybe it couldn't. I know nothing about this player. But hey, not a bad card. And now we have Ryan O'Reilly. One of your MSP masters. And, you know, not bad. But I'm going to say this. Ryan O'Reilly could be a good player, could get a lot of goals, but I think the other cards that start higher are a lot better. Like there's a couple of cards there, like Connor Garland, who is what, an 82? Ryan O'Reilly has to get 6 goals before he even catches Garland. Like I think the MSPs might be a little down. Matheson. Now again, MSP is a little low. He scores some goals. He gets some good point shots, but this card needs 12 goals to get up into that high 90s area. If you're a Montreal fan, he's not a bad looking card. Great card art. Claude Giroux. 26 goals is a lot. Well, 25 goals is a lot. Claude Giroux could be able to do it on that Senators team. John Carlson is a bomb on the point. Can he get 16 goals? 17 goals? He could. He could. I don't think he does. And then the man of the hour, Evgeny Malkin. We seen this card come out yesterday as a visual art, and when we seen it, we all got excited, and this Evgeny Malkin could be great. Pittsburgh is not looking like they're going to do good this year, so trying to get 28 goals out of Malkin might be tough. Well, I guess, 27. I keep taking it to 100. Trying to get 27 goals out of Malkin might be tough this year, but hey, not impossible. That is the fantasy event, guys. What do we think of it? Leave in the comment section down below who you going to be chasing. Mine is Oliver Ekman-Larsson, and I gave my reasons why. He's a great card. He looks awesome, and he's on the Leafs' top power play unit, which I expect just being on that unit alone, he's going to get 6-7 goals naturally, and then his 5v5 goals are going to add to it. So let's hear your thoughts, guys, opinions on the fantasy event. And remember, tomorrow I'm going to be doing the Supernatural event, so if you don't want to miss that, hit the sub button and notification bell down below so you don't. But thanks for watching. Till next time, guys. Ciao, ciao.